Hello and welcome to our latest episode of What's on the Horizon. I'm Lori Sharonbrock here with Chris Schucker of Digital Horizons. And I know it doesn't always look like it outside, but it's spring.
It's spring.
It's spring and slowly but surely we're going to get there. Yeah. I think it's going to happen. So I'm probably like many others thinking about spring cleaning in the house. And that's probably something to keep in mind with your technology too, that there should be sort of a spring cleaning of sorts.
Yeah.
What happens during that process with you?
Yeah. So we have some customers that prefer to have us kind of perform more regular maintenance on their stuff. And so of course it depends on what's been installed. But largely what we do when we go into a home and we're doing a spring checkup or something like that is we'll go through and make sure all the software and firmware for all of the devices is updated, which we don't always like doing because there's the adage of if it's not broke, don't fix it. But sometimes there are bugs and stuff that get fixed that the software updates are necessary for. So we'll go through on the televisions, the Apple TVs, if there's Blu-ray players, surround receivers, things like that. We'll go through and make sure all the software is updated. And then things like if there's a network in place, we'll go through and we'll update firmware on the access points and the routers and network switches and things like that to make sure they're updated. We'll actually do cleaning. So if there's some equipment let's say there's a home entertainment system and there's a stack of equipment, we'll go through and we'll dust things off because bless their hearts, sometimes if there is cleaning people and they go through, they don't often want to touch it, clean it because they feel like they're going to push a button and break stuff or whatever. Yeah. So we'll go through and we'll dust that stuff off. And then in relation to the home entertainment systems too, over time, mostly early on, but a little bit more over time, speakers change a little bit in how they sound. But then also sometimes settings can be adjusted by maybe kids or whoever.
Yeah.
And so we go through and we'll turn the systems on, make sure they work, and then we'll do a recalibration of the sound system to make sure it's still sounding as good as it possibly can. And so it's a lot of stuff like that is just getting things running, make sure it's working, do the updates, clean things up, do calibrations, that type of stuff. And, there's probably 10 or 15 different properties or homes that we go through of varying shapes and sizes. Yeah. They're not all just big mega mansions, that we just are proactive about in our maintenance so that, if there's an issue that, we're able to catch it. And then, when the, if it's somebody who comes up as a second residence, when they come up, then it's just working. There's no worry about is stuff functioning, and at least we do what we can to be proactive about it.
Well, and it's kind of nice that you do it at that point too, because back to the adage, if it is broke, it's easier to fix it.
Right.
Perhaps when you have a little more time, rather than my sound is broken and I'm having a party Saturday night.
Correct.
Fix it. That it's a little bit easier to run into that. Do you run into that very often?
No, it's not. I mean, truthfully, when anything that we provide breaks, it's not an emergency.
Sure.
It's a little bit different if it's in the middle of winter and your heat goes out.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I mean, not to, if your television's not working on a Friday night, there's probably another one, and
you can figure out a board game, something perhaps.
So I mean, we obviously we give priority and take care of things, but we usually don't get the frantic calls because it's not life or death, and but as long as we're able to maintain things, if somebody wants that, then it's much less likely to happen.
And is that like the spring cleaning, like a service that someone can ask for when purchasing equipment, or is there like a list that you guys go through every year and say, hey, it's time to do this?
Yeah, it's generally on a case by case basis, and some clients want that as a proactive measure, and some we just recommend it due to the complexity of the system, and we what we install, we choose very good components and we design and install systems that work very well. But you could have a Bugatti or a Lamborghini or anything like that, and they're very high performance vehicles, and they they need maintenance just like anything else does.
True.
They're not free from it. So, we install, if we're using the car analogy, we install Toyota Corollas all the way up to the Bugattis, and they all need maintenance. And so sometimes we know that the complexity of the system calls for more proactive maintenance just because the scale of the system. And so there are those that were more, insistent on doing it as a proactive measure. And then there's some that just sometimes either don't require it or the customer insists on it. We just take care of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's to keep going with that analogy. It's like buying a Bugatti and never changing the oil. Like if you're going to invest in home automation, home entertainment, security, etc., you do need to do regular maintenance.
And unlike a Bugatti where it costs $20,000 to change the oil, it doesn't cost $20,000 for us to perform a maintenance.
Right. And like you said, it's easier to do those things and prevent the problems later down the line. It's a smaller investment to prevent a larger issue than that.
Yeah.
So
it actually does cost $20,000 to change the oil on a Bugatti.
Does it really?
It really does. Yeah.
Oh, I guess then I probably won't be getting one.
But when your car costs $1.2 million, it's
not like a drop in the bucket when you think about it.
Just a quick oil change. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'll just stick with my good old Nissan that doesn't require that much to it. So for us regular folks, anyway. So that's all really good reminders that our homes are not, and our equipment, just like an exterior or anything like that, requires that kind of spring maintenance too. So if you're not sure what needs to be cleaned, how often, how that works, give Digital Horizons a call. They aren't really afraid of breaking things. They know their way around and can take care of you really well. So any other last adages for spring cleaning, things we got to think about with our equipment?
I can't wait for the water to be open.
Oh, same. Just
it's not related, but yeah.
I know, just some regular sunshine, just
it'd be nice.
Regular expected sunshine. So we hope there's sunshine wherever you are at, and thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next episode.